Welcome to Take 5, short informational films for everyone, including adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Today, we'll go over 5 very basic cooking skills. If you want to learn more about cooking or find some recipes, just stop by the library and we can direct you to many books about cooking. The basic skills we'll cover today are measuring flour, cutting with a knife, peeling vegetables, baking potatoes, and boiling eggs. When you're baking cakes or cookies, you often need to measure flour. Sometimes a recipe will call for sifting flour, and sifting is nothing more than pushing your flour through a screen, like is on here on this sifter, with a metal rod that pushes it through and gets all the clumps out so you can measure most accurately. We're going to just eyeball it and give a little bit more than 2 cups. And then the next one, and then start sifting. This is the fun part. As you can see, it's getting all the clumps out and making a nice uniform pile of flour that you can carefully measure when you get ready to measure your cup. And then when you're at the very end, you can just go like this, and it'll pour out all the leftovers. And you'll see that there's a few grains left. You can just push those through or discard them. So there you have your sifted flour. And then start measuring. You're going to need a knife that is flat on one side. Carefully scoop the flour into the cup. And then smooth it out like this. And that is exactly 1 cup. And then you would put in your mixing bowl. Set that aside, and now it's time to do your 2nd cup. Put it flat on the table, it makes it a little bit easier. And put it once again in your mixing bowl. And there you have it, 2 cups of flour. Now let's talk about cutting with a knife. But first, let's look at some useful knives to have in your kitchen. The first one is a chef's knife. The next one is a small paring knife. The last one is a serrated knife. The serrated knife would have rough edges rather than smooth edges. It's important for kitchen safety to hold your knife correctly. One safe way to hold a knife is to pinch it between your thumb and your pointer finger so you have a firm grip. If it's hard for you to use a metal chef's knife, you can try using a plastic knife instead, or an adapted knife. It's also important to hold your food properly. Notice how this man is holding the red pepper with his hand shaped like a claw. This gives a good grip on the food and keeps it steady while you chop. Here you see a close-up of how to place the blade against your knuckles. Notice that the hand is shaped like a claw. This shows how to slowly and carefully slice meat using the large chef's knife. Now let's talk about bread. You could rip a piece of bread off the loaf like this, but sometimes you'll want neater slices, like this. For neater slices, you would use a serrated knife. Keeping the bread steady with one hand, use your other hand to saw back and forth with the serrated knife. Another sharp blade you'll use is when you're peeling vegetables. There are many kinds of vegetable peelers. They all have a sharp blade, so you can peel off the skin of potatoes, carrots, or any other vegetable. The blade is sharp, so it's best to peel away from you. That way, you're less likely to cut yourself if your hand slips. Notice how this woman is peeling in a sweeping motion away from the hand that's holding the carrot. This is the safest way. Then when it's time to peel the other side, simply flip the carrot over and continue to peel away from yourself. The next skill we'll talk about is how to bake potatoes in a microwave. First, you'll need to rinse off the potato. Potatoes grow in the ground, so they might have some dirt on them and need to be rinsed off. Then it's important to poke some holes in the potato with a fork. The holes let out steam when the potato is cooking. Then put the potato in the microwave for 5 minutes. When the 5 minutes are over, use a glove or an oven mitt to turn the hot potato over. Then cook for another 5 minutes. Take the potato out of the microwave and use a paper towel to protect your hand and a paring knife to cut the potato open. Then add your favorite toppings and enjoy your snack. The last skill we'll talk about is boiling eggs. Soft-boiled eggs take 3 to 4 minutes to cook. Hard-boiled eggs take 10 to 15 minutes to cook. First, put the eggs in a pot and fill it with water enough to cover the eggs and about 1 inch higher. Put the pot on the stove and turn the heat to high. Wait until the eggs come to a rolling boil, like you see here. Then cover the pot, remove it from the hot burner, and turn off the stove. Let the eggs sit in the pot for 10 to 15 minutes. The hot water in the pot is slowly cooking the eggs, even though the stove is turned off. While you're waiting, fill up a bowl with water and ice cubes. This will be your ice bath for the eggs. Spoon the eggs out one by one and put them in the ice bath to cool down. After the eggs are cool and dry, roll them gently to crack the shell. Then peel the shell off. The shell should come off pretty easily. And now you have your hard-boiled egg ready to eat as you like for a snack, breakfast, or maybe add some mayonnaise for some egg salad. On behalf of Gwinnett County Public Library, we thank you for joining us for another Take 5 video. We hope you enjoyed it and will share it with your friends.